Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live, entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing tonight or today or this morning or we into the late hours? We have viewers, or as we call them, our lovities, who watch the Jim Masters Show Live entertainment lifestyle talk show series from literally all points of the globe, all around the world. And we welcome you. How's your day been going? Hope you had a good day thus far. If you're just starting your day in Australia, New Zealand, down under, I hope you have a great day. Those of you, actually, it would be tomorrow already. I think it's like Friday for everybody in Australia and New Zealand, but it's still Thursday evening here. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Wherever you are around the world, we always welcome you in style with levity. Light, love, and levity is what we talk about. And then, of course, I stumbled on the word levity accidentally. I said love and levity a little too fast back in the summertime. Thus, levity was born. So how's everybody doing? We're sending you some love and light, some positivity. We're going to have a good time tonight. Our great friend Sean Kanan is back with us. You know him, of course, as a brilliant actor, producer, author. He's in Los Angeles. Many of you may know him from General Hospital and The Young and the Restless. Also, the great recent show, Studio City. Also, he's got a new book out. We're going to talk about that as well. But again, a brilliant actor. He's been doing his thing for a long time, most notably from, of course, the soap operas, as I mentioned, General Hospital, Young and the Restless, and others, and movies and commercials and a whole host of great things in Hollywood. And he was on in the summertime with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And we chatted and stayed in contact. And matter of fact, we chatted right after the show on the phone. And he said, when can I come back? When can I come back? Because he really enjoyed it the first time, which was perfect. I'm glad that he did. So I said, hey, you want to pop back on? You have some new things to talk about. He's got a new book and some other cool things that are happening in his life. So he's going to be sharing that with all of us today on the Jim Masters Show Live. Again, actor Sean Kanan coming up in just a moment. Of course, as always, we toast all of you and you and you and you and you. How's everybody doing today? I hope things are going well for you. Busy day here. As always, every day is a busy day here at the Jim Masters Show Live, and then balancing everything with my professional work in television and radio. Hope you had a good day, and hope you're smiling. If you're not, we're going to make you smile in this episode of the show. Just want to let you know as well, tomorrow night, Friday, we have Cami Kotler, who is from the Waltons. She's here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And on Saturday, Brian Dunphy, who is with the High Kings, brilliant Irish singer, songwriter, musician, is going to be here live from Ireland on Saturday. That's on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And that's at 2 p.m. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and it'll be 7 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and England. And we just booked several more guests today. We've got some amazing people. Smooth jazz saxophonist and composer Will Donato is going to be with us on Tuesday. And Tiffany Moore is returning, the wonderful Irish fiddler and violinist and multi-instrumentalist and dear friend. Is going to be with us next week as well. And so many great people. Kenny James, the renowned bassist, is going to be with us on Friday. It's a really cool week coming up. But first, we have today. We want to welcome everybody, and then we'll have Sean joining us in just a minute. He's actually charging up his phone. He was at only about 30%. And he said, what do you think, Jim? Should I run with the 30% or should we charge it up? And I said, I'm going to do a little bit of an intro. We have our music, our theme. I welcome our lovely viewers. Charge it up, and then, we'll have you pop on. So it's better to be safe than sorry, because I think the first time he was on, his phone sort of cut out on him. So we don't want that to happen again. Jennifer is here. New moon, good blessings tonight. Sláinte, good to see you in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Jennifer Barry and Kathy Short is here. Hello, Jim and our lovely family. Happy Thursday. Good to see you, Kathy Short, in Cleveland, Ohio, where Sean Kanan hails from originally. Cleveland, Ohio. And Merlin is here from Ontario, Canada. Hello, Jim and all lovelies. Good to see you in Ontario, Merlin. Of course, we welcome you to the Jim Masters Show Live as well. Amy is here. Good to see you, Amy. Hello, lovelies. Really cool to see you, Amy. Wonderful poet. And nice. I love all these great comments. Juanita is here. She's welcoming everybody. They all welcome each other, which is kind of cool. Tesla Bella, Very handsome type, Mr. Levity. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. If you remember, uh, we stumbled on the word levity when I said light, love, and levity too fast. And this show is an extension of my professional work in television and radio multimedia as a TV and radio personality and presenter, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC. So for years, people wanted me to do an entertainment lifestyle talk show series like this. So we launched it in April of last year, some 260, 70, 80 episodes live 7 days a week, which has been unbelievable. Quite an undertaking balancing it with my professional work, but it's really cool. Love all of you joining us every night here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Tess Labella, hello and good evening, Mr. Levity and all the Levities. Welcome Sean to Levity Hall. That's right. This is his return visit, and I'm so excited because he's got some cool things to tell us about. Merlin says, hey, Sean, welcome back to Levity Hall. And everybody else, we're going to just dive right in. Angie Theo is here. Welcome, Angie. Good to see you on the YouTube channel. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, which is what we're doing the show on tonight, we would love it, really love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it helps us continue the great content and all of these daily episodes of the Jim Masters Show live. Thank you, Angie. Nice to see you. Doing great. So happy you got Sean back on. Absolutely. He was exciting to come back. And matter of fact, after the last show that I mentioned that we did, we chatted on the phone and he said, let me know when you want me to come back. And I said, why don't you pop back on now? Because he's got some cool things. Here for Sean Kanan, but lobbying to get him on Cobra Kai. Well, hopefully you'll also be here for us and all the Levity viewers too, Matthew, because once you watch our show and you participate, you're called a Levity. That's what our viewers are from around the world. Hello, Jim and Levity friends. Good to see you as well. There's 270 episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series with guests from television, music, film, Broadway, Hollywood, health and wellness, culinary arts, authors, comedians, sports, you name it, plus host chats, on location segments. You can see them all on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Let's welcome our very special guest, Sean Kanan, who's live and direct from Los Angeles. We were talking about some of the cool things you know him from. And of course, there's cool things he's involved in right now. Studio City is one of them. Hey, Sean, welcome to the show. It's so cool to have you here and welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. It's great to see you again. What's it been? It's been a couple months.
It's been at least a couple months, right, since we chatted last, and we had an epic conversation. And I think I remember you were in a room that had white walls, and I think you were at your friend's house at the time.
Every time you see, yeah, I'm not home. I'm not home now either.
You're not home either.
Friends, actually, the director of Studio City. I'm at his place because we're busy editing all the actors' reels for the upcoming Emmy season. And so we had to be here to do that. And those are his monstrously loud dogs over there.
That's cool. So how have you been, my friend? It's really great to see you. And obviously we've all, been enduring a lot of different things in our lives collectively and individually and still trudging through positively, creating. And how have you stayed sane, creative, and connected through it all, Sean?
I'm a big fan of the adage of, not just surviving the chaos, but thriving during it. And so I've been fortunate that I've been able to stay really busy. We went back into production for Studio City. We did 5 new episodes, which are now on Amazon Prime. And that, let me tell you, production during a pandemic it's like a Herculean task. It really is with all the new rules and everything and protocols that you have to adhere to, but we did it. We got 5 great new episodes out. I am rapidly coming to the point where my new book is going to be coming out, Way the Cobra, and I'm just trying to keep doing. That's kind of that's my mantra. Just stay in motion.
Exactly. Since we chatted last, we mentioned a little bit about Studio City. What are some of the things that have happened since? You mentioned the book, which sounds really cool. Tell us about the book and the inspiration for the book, my friend.
I'm really excited about this book. It's called Way of the Cobra. And this is a book that's about the strategies and the philosophies that I've used over my life to achieve some of my success. My wife designed the cover. I really like it.
Really cool.
And COBRA is an acronym for, thank you. COBRA is an acronym formed from the words character, optimization, balance, respect, and abundance. And a Cobra is somebody that is living their absolute best life, their most authentic life. And the tagline for the book is Unleash Your Inner Badass, because I believe everyone has one.
Mm. So tell us a little bit more about the whole concept and your involvement. Did the involvement with the Karate Kid influence you at all? Was that a taste of it, or were you already, having an interest in all of this early on?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's, the book does not really deal a whole lot with Karate Kid, although there is one story, one chapter about how I got the role in the Karate Kid 3 and ultimately had a near-death incident while filming and how I overcame it. And then I apply that to one of the lessons that I teach in the book. Um, I do a lot of personal coaching. I do a lot of motivational speaking, and I wanted to make a lot of the philosophies and the strategies accessible to everybody. And it's something that I started writing probably about 2 years ago. And it's funny, the book initially was not going to be called Way of the Cobra. It was called something else, but with the absolute, phenomenal success of Cobra Kai, I
Yeah.
thought, well, maybe it's going to be interesting. I'll put it in the framework that you're entering the dojo of life, Cobra life, and that I'm the sensei. And people really responded to it.
That's cool. That's fantastic. So who is the reader? Who is this really fashioned for, would you say? Anybody or somebody that has already a keen interest in it? What would you say?
Men, women, anyone who is looking to get in touch with that inner beast that we all have,
Yeah.
that beast that is what drives us to being excellent, to accomplishing what we want to do. I say in the book that there's good news and there's bad news. I said, first, the bad news. Okay, if you're like me and Don Corleone, you get the bad news first. And the bad news is that the book is not going to be a silver bullet to telling you how to become uber successful. But the good news is that it's like the Zen riddle. How did the ship get in the bottle? It was already there. Everything you need to know is already within you. There's not a whole lot in this book, or really a whole lot in anyone's book, that is reinventing the wheel. What I'm doing is talking about sound strategies that can help anybody achieve the goals that they want to do. A couple of the things that I talk about in the book, the first thing you have to do is you have to define your success. And when I talk about your success, I'm not talking about the success that we see in commercials from Madison Avenue. I'm not talking about the airbrushed pictures that we see on the covers of magazines, and I'm not talking about the bloated Instagram feeds of celebrities and their excesses. I'm talking about deciding what would your life have to look like for you to consider yourself successful. Because if you don't have a clear picture of that, it's like going on a trip and having no idea where the destination is. So a lot of the book is getting people to get really clear on what they want, and then discussing the strategies about how to do it. What are the potential obstacles holding you back? And getting into action.
That's cool. I like that because a lot of times, we all get stuck within ourselves. Sometimes that we fall into those self-limiting beliefs that either we have created ourselves or that the world has created for us. So this sounds like this is really a way of life. You're really investing in yourself in ways that will produce extraordinary results, mind, body, and spirit, huh?
Yeah, well, I know I know these work. I used these strategies last year and the year before to write an Amazon new release bestseller, Success Factor X, to create Studio City, which is an Emmy award-winning show, and I lost 35 pounds, and I did all that in 1 year. And I don't say that to impress people, but I say it to impress upon them what is possible when you make some really significant but not always painful changes. It's kind of like the concept of compound interest. Incrementally, if you make small changes over the longer horizon, you're going to see exceptional results. And you said something interesting. You said sometimes people get stuck, and in the introduction of the book, I write, look, if you're having phenomenal success in your life right now, that's fantastic. If you're cashing checks and snapping necks, that's fantastic. But if you're feeling stuck and frustrated, that's better, because I'm going to teach you how to use that to motivate you, to light a fire inside of you, and not to allow that feeling of stuckness to become depressing, but how to use it as a catalyst.
So what are some ways you mentioned, losing weight and things of that nature? What are some other ways that it's really helped you, Sean? And was it at a point where you just really felt compelled, you got to write this book, you want to get out there and uplift and help others, motivate others as well?
I was in a place a couple of years ago, and I was not being very Cobra-like, and I decided that instead of waiting for my ship to come in, I was going to build the damn ship, and I had to figure out how to do it. And
Right.
some of the strategies that I use, one of the biggest ones, we've all heard the saying, the Latin phrase "carpe diem," right? Seize the day.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I've kind of evolved that a little bit to carpe mane, which is seize the morning. So I'm a really big proponent of getting up early and having a really solid series of things that you do that is going to change the trajectory of your day. Like for me, the first thing I do, and this is not a discussion about being religious or not religious, but I like to start my day in gratitude. I get on my knees, I say a little prayer, I thank the universe, God, whatever, for what I have. So right away, I'm starting my day in a positive place. After that, I do some meditation, which quiets the monkey chatter.
Yeah.
And the other great thing about the morning is, I like to get up before everyone's up, because you haven't been bombarded by all of the chaos and insanity from the day. You're kind of stealing a couple hours for yourself where you can really enhance your productivity. The next thing I really like to do is visualize. If I've got
Yeah.
if I've got meetings, I've got phone calls, if I've got an audition, whatever I have, I like to play it through in my head in a positive way and see a positive result coming out of that. This is not something that is unique and specific to my book. This is something that Anthony Robbins teaches.
Right.
Many of the very best success coaches teach it, and they work with, take basketball players, for instance. For instance, they will literally see themselves making a free throw, before they do it,
Right.
which is proven that the percentage of their success goes up dramatically when they're already envisioning it. The next thing that I do is I read, because I'm a huge proponent of reading as much as you can. And you can knock out 25, 30 pages a day, and over the course of a year, suddenly you've read 15 books. And I like to encourage people to not only read books that are germane to their business, but to read things that are outside of your wheelhouse. Learn something new. Always remain the student. And by making some of those simple changes in my morning, just getting up literally an hour earlier, it made a dramatic difference in my productivity, my energy, the way that I felt, and what I was able to accomplish.
That is cool. And it really helps you when you're on set, I would imagine too, right? Because, more stamina, more focus, you have more clarity in your life too, right?
Absolutely. And whatever you do, my acting teacher used to have this saying. He would say that I've got more in common with a successful plumber than I do with an unsuccessful acting teacher. And by that, he meant that
Yeah.
a lot of the very same strategies that you have to employ to be successful in any endeavor, they form a common denominator. And so what I'm showing you in this book, works for me as a writer, an actor, and a producer. It will work for you if you are an insurance salesman or if you are a baseball player. I don't care. There are just certain things that you have to do in order to be successful. And, ones to act with integrity. It sounds simple. But to conduct yourself in a way that is with integrity. I always ask myself, what value can I bring to other people? I don't go into things. Very few times in life are you in a situation where it has to be a zero-sum game, where I have to win and you have to lose? Are
Right.
there times like that? Sometimes. But if I can get what I want, if I can accomplish what I want and also bring value to your life, then
Hmm.
your relationship with somebody, which is much better than being transactional. Um, I think that's something. I think that's something that is fundamental to success. I think another really fundamental thing, and it's just so simple. Just be kind, be civil. We're living
Right.
in a society now that is based on. It's not based on it, but it's infused with so much vitriol and so much division right now that
Yeah.
people are rapidly forgetting how to speak to each other with civility. How to say, you know what, I don't agree with you, but I'm going to listen to what you have to say and I'm going to do it respectfully. I'm not going to villainize you because I disagree with one thing that you think. I'm going to, launch into some ad hominem attack about who you are as a person. And I think this is something that starts at home with parents teaching their kids this, and with all of us remembering that it's not that difficult to treat each other the way we want to be treated.
I agree. I agree. You couldn't have said it any better. It's so true. I think it's so apropos and so perfect for the times too, because during the course of everything we've been going through the last many months, a lot of people have been sort of taking a look at their lives, Sean, and looking in the mirror and saying, okay, what have I done so far? And who have I served? And am I serving anything that I need to have taken care of as well? And they're looking in the mirror and they're, wondering if they like the reflection they're seeing back. They're sort of analyzing their career, their relationships, everything about themselves. So this has been a real pivot point in our lives where, you can embrace what you're talking about perfectly right now as we sort of open up to new ways of thinking and new ways of living, right?
Yeah, and I think another thing is that we should all realize that we take for granted the ability to see people in our lives, and now that our ability to interact with other people has been largely, I don't want to say reduced, but changed to talking like we are right now on Zoom.
Yeah.
For me, it's really, I haven't seen my parents in a year and a half. I'm very close to my parents, and it's you realize that sometimes you take it for granted, and that it's really something special to be able to see the people that we love, the people that we care about, our
Yeah.
family, friends. Until you can't really do it, you don't appreciate it. And I hope that everybody, because of what's been going on, that we realize that and just sort of take a breath and think for a second that
Mm.
it's important to value those sort of things.
Absolutely. I know what you mean because we haven't seen a lot of the family in just about the same amount of time. And there's a lot scattered all over the country. And so we're hoping, maybe by summer we'll be able to, because there's some major family birthdays and there's so many big milestones that have been happening during the course of this year period. And we're all like banking on hopefully being able to get together. In addition to the book, my friend, Studio City, and people have been raving about that. Going to talk about that in just a second. Matthew said something. He's watching here, and he's sort of all excited. I guess he's been
Hey, Matt.
posting and posting. He says, hopefully Sean Spills on Cobra Kai have been tweeting nonstop to the creators. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, listen, I can neither confirm nor deny anything about Cobra Kai, but I will say this: I am unbelievably flattered and humbled that a role I did more than 30 years ago still resonates with the fans. And I mean, I'm really touched by that. And I have gotten to know a lot of people through social media, and just some terrific people. They've been so wonderful and supportive to me, and I would very much like to see them get what they want, which is to, I think, eventually see the return of my character Mike Barnes. But it's like I always say, we shall see. And in the
Mhm.
meantime, I've got lots of stuff going on. I'm staying real busy, but I sincerely appreciate everybody
They
you know,
really
yeah, I mean, it's been
rooting
nuts.
for you. Yeah. There's some shots there with Ralph Macchio and the Karate Kid, and of course the role of
That's
Mike
actually,
as well.
that was actually
You
Pat
haven't changed
Johnson.
a bit, Sean Kanan. You haven't changed a bit. Are you? Do you have Irish in you?
I probably do have a little Irish in me.
With a
What's
name
funny?
like Sean Kanan?
I did,
Yeah,
the Ancestry.com thing,
that's
and
it.
apparently I am 19% seafaring Viking, which is different than
Ah,
Scandinavian. There's like a genetic marker for Vikings, so I was like pretty.
so so you know what's in right now. You're going to sing us a sea shanty. They're really
Not yet.
popular right now.
Not even a little. But
I should do
maybe
a
it's
whole show at
like
sea shanties. Yeah, but you do play a doctor. Tell us about for those who have not yet
my
had a
mother.
chance to check out Studio City yet. Tell us about Studio City. I've seen fantastic.
Thank you very much. Well, my mother's very proud because I'm now an actor playing a doctor, which is
Playing
at
a
least
doctor. That's right.
somewhat closer to being a doctor, right? So the show is an Emmy Award-winning digital drama. It's on Amazon Prime. There are 11 episodes available right now, 5 of which are new. The show centers around my character, who is Sam Stevens, who also plays Dr. Pierce Hartley on the #2 soap opera in the world, Hearts on Fire. And he's
Hmm.
like, when you first look at him, you think, wow, he's this guy in a soap opera. He's got a pretty young girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And as the layers start to get peeled away, you realize this guy has not only a lot of flaws, but he's got a lot of problems that
Mm,
most people have and some that they don't. And,
right.
he's no longer kind of the young buck on the show. He's sort of the aging leading man, and he's got a young guy nipping at his heels. And he's got lots of family issues, not the least of which is his stepfather who raised him is dying of cancer and won't take his medication or his treatment. Um, there's there's a lot of stuff. We also touch on a lot of really poignant social issues, which I'm really proud about. The show actually made history because one of our actors, whose name is Scott Turner Schofield, is the first
Mhm.
trans man ever nominated for an Emmy, which means that we're the first show to ever have a trans man nominated for an Emmy, and we're very proud of that. We deal with the Me Too issue and ageism and LGBTQ storyline, but we do a way that's not beating you over the head. Because look, nobody wants to be preached to, right? I mean, at the end of the day, people want to be entertained, but we entertain you, but maybe give you something to think about. And hopefully sometimes we make you laugh, and hopefully sometimes we make you cry and things. So
Exactly.
that's actually
Exactly.
Scott Turner Schofield right there. And go ahead. Sorry.
You're right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Scott Turner
Yeah.
Schofield, and that's Aaron Michelle Soto. And it's great. We've got terrific actors. We've got Tristan Rogers, who won the Emmy last year for Best Supporting Actor.
Mm.
Sarah Joy Brown, 3-time Emmy Award winner. Scott Turner Schofield. Patrika Darbo's on the show. It's really pretty amazing.
Angie Theo is watching. She says Sean deserves to win an Emmy.
I love my Greek sister.
I know, it's really incredible. Christine Clifton says gratitude is key. Positivity. Sean, thanks for sharing great tips to help people and some practices you do in your daily life. That's why I like the overnight hours, when it's quiet to think. Exactly right. Exactly. What are some other things that you have up your sleeve? The book, Studio City, some other projects, other cool things that you're working on too, Sean, since we chatted last?
Well, honestly, right now, getting the book out because it's going to be coming out in the next 6 weeks, and promoting that's going to be a pretty major thing for me over the next several months. We're like I said, we're doing all the Emmy reels right now for all of our actors, which is it's a large undertaking. It takes a fair amount of time, and then going into award season, promoting the show, trying to increase our audience. And I think I'm supposed to leave and start a film in about 3 weeks too, which I'm really excited about. So I'll announce that as soon as the details on that are finished. But I'm also really excited about the fact that I'm segueing into my coaching business, my excellence coaching, and my speaking, and I really love that. I got into acting thinking I did it because I wanted to express myself and this and that. And that's part of it, of course. But really, when I drilled down on it, I realized that I wanted to do it because I wanted to inspire people. And as I've gotten older and as I've been able to kind of spread my wings a little bit, I realized that there's many ways that we can inspire people, or at least that I can. And my writing was sort of the second thing that allowed me to do it. And now, with speaking and with coaching, this has opened up a whole new world to me about how to connect with people and how to help them and inspire them. And that's something I'm really passionate about.
See, that's really important. I think that's a fantastic thing to get into. And there's many people. Who are some people that sort of mentored you or you've looked up to that have inspired you along the way, Sean?
That's a great question, Jim. One of the chapters in the book is find a mentor, be a mentor. And when I was growing up in Western Pennsylvania in this small town, I used to love to go to the movies. I still do, and I love to do it by myself. And when I was growing up, I didn't realize it at the time, but Clint Eastwood is the outlaw Josie Wales, and Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon were my earliest mentors. They showed me a world that was beyond the horizon of what I could see. They inspired me to want to go out into the world and see what else was there, to get into acting and all of that. As I've gotten older, a lot of mentors are people that I've read their books. They've been mentors to me. Anthony Robbins is without a doubt a mentor to me. My father's been a tremendous mentor to me. My martial arts teachers have been a huge mentor to me. Sensei Fumio Demura, who was Pat Morita's stunt double and worked with me on Karate Kid 3. I've known him since I was probably about 16 years old and was really honored. I was inducted into the Masters Hall of Fame last year. Sensei Demura is in that, and that was a real big honor for me. So I think as we go through life, it's important to find mentors because they lead us up the path to the top of the mountain where we want to go, and they're able to point out potential pitfalls, and they're hopefully able to introduce us to people that can expand our sphere of influence and knowledge and things like that. But I think that it's kind of like what Muhammad Ali said. Let me see if I can get this quote right. But he said something to the effect of, service is the rent we pay for the time we spend here on earth. And I'm a firm believer that it's really important to give back, to help other people, to help them achieve their goals. And, going back to my second book, Success Factor X, you've got all these people that are really successful people. They have all the trappings of success. They've got money, they've got fame, they've got blah, blah, blah. But none of them discuss their success in those terms. Almost all of them refer to their success with their increased ability to help other people achieve their goals. And I think that's really great. For me, that's really restores some faith in humanity. That there are people that have made it to the top that are really willing to extend a hand and help other people realize their dreams. And, working on that book, Success Factor X, with people like Mark Cuban and Anthony Robbins and, Daryl McDaniels, founding member of Run DMC, and professional Hall of Fame baseball players, football players, they mentored me with their words. And, I was really profoundly moved by how much I learned from the people that were the contributors to that book. And I don't say that I wrote that book. I say that our participants in the book wrote it. I'm one of the participants, but if you haven't had a chance to check that book out, it's 50 exceptional people all giving their advice about what success is to them. There's some tremendous knowledge in that book.
What was it like writing that book and getting that in, sort of assembling all of those people and getting their viewpoints and their wisdom and suggestions?
Yeah, that was a great experience. It really was. It took probably over a year. And, we kind of made this wish list of who we wanted to be in the book. And we wrote our ask letters to everybody. And almost everybody said yes. The only times people would say no was when there was just such an egregious scheduling conflict that they weren't able to get us the material that we needed. But the response from these people that are incredibly successful, powerful, busy people was overwhelming. And it's a testament to them and their desire to share the knowledge that has helped them become successful.
Who are some of the folks that are in it, you were saying?
Mark Cuban, Sarah Blakely, the first female billionaire, Hall of Famer Larry Walker from the Astros.
There's the book
fellow,
there, right?
Studio City. Yeah, my fellow Studio City castmate, Tristan Rogers is in it. Like I said, Run DMC. I love those guys. We have Daryl McDaniels in it, which is great. KC from KC and the Sunshine Band. KC's
yeah.
in it. Coach K is in it. I mean, we've just got all these diverse people. And, it's one of those books you can open it up to any page. You don't have to even read it chronologically. And the great thing about it is, you've got this advice from all these people. And I always say, why do we watch the same movies over and over again? Like, we all have our favorite movies, right? The movie doesn't change, but the eyes with which we see the movie changes based upon our cumulative, quantitative experience in life. You watch a movie that you loved when you were 13, and if you still love it at 30, you're going to love it, but it might be for completely different reasons. The movie hasn't changed, but you have. And it's one where you can go back time and time again and reread some of this advice, and it's going to bring different knowledge to you that you may not have initially realized.
That's really, really cool. So with Studio City and other production work, how are things there in LA? Have you been able to still do shooting, or is it, have you been on hiatus with it? How's it been going?
Well, in the beginning, it was very start and stop. Like, there were shows that they went out of production, and then they went back into production, and then they had to go back out of production. There is a lot of production going on. There are very strict protocols for the Screen Actors Guild. When we did Studio City, we had a doctor on set. We were testing. You had to have a test. You had to wear masks. You had to socially distance. We actually had Spectrum TV come and did a feature on our production that was less about what Studio City is about and more about what it's like to film in the age of COVID. And like I said, it was a challenge, but fortunately, I think that production is coming back, and hopefully with people getting the vaccine, that it's going to come back stronger and stronger. But without a doubt, it was, the industry ground to a halt for a while.
It really, really did. Well, the industry might have grounded to a halt, but you never do, my friend. And we have evidence of that right here.
Oh, no.
Now look quickly, folks. This is only like 3 seconds of.
But wait, that's not me, Jim. That's my teacher.
I know. Yeah. And the person or the figure that he's like approaching isn't you. Isn't you either?
So I got to tell you this story. This is really cool. So his name's Adam McKinley. He lives way up in Northern California. And Adam and I struck up a friendship online. And so he invited me to come up and train with him for a week in this beautiful little town that kind of looks like, what was the sort of supernatural show? Twin Peaks. Okay.
Twin Peaks. Yes.
Yeah. And so Adam is a phenomenal martial artist. He's a 5th degree black belt. And I called my friend, who is the editor of Black Belt Magazine, and I said, look, I'm going on this crazy adventure. I've never met this guy. I'm flying up to go see him. I can count the times that I've been away from my wife overnight on like one hand. Yeah. And now I'm going for a week, which is longer than I've ever gone. And I flew up there and formed an incredible bond with he and his wife and trained with him. And while you can watch this clip, and it's pretty self-explanatory for what an amazing martial artist is, but Black Belt Magazine asked me to write an article about the experience. So that's going to be coming out sometime in the next several months.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Twin Peaks. I get a lot of times, depending on whether it's profile or whatever it is, and maybe when I don't have any of this, people sort of
Yep.
confuse me with Kyle MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan. I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Kyle MacLachlan, Twin Peaks.
There are worse people to be compared to than Kyle.
And Kyle, right?
Yeah, right.
Twin Peaks. So Twin Peaks, Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives. He had some good runs there, huh?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
And
people say that.
And who can forget his pivotal turn in Showgirls?
Right. I like this pivotal turn. So yeah, here we go. This is only 3 seconds, folks. So do not blink. Do not go for a drink right now. Just take a look real quick. It's kind of cool.
Right.
Sort of loops there. Yeah. So, wow. You didn't want to be a stand-in for that for sure, huh? But that's really.
Let me let you know.
That's cool.
So that dummy, which his name is Bob, that is full of probably 50 pounds of water in the bottom. And, you know, it's real hard to knock Bob on his butt. And Adam does it consistently. But by the time I left for the week, I was able to do it. Not all the time, but I was able to do it every now and again. And it, you know, and I'm going to be going up like every 8 weeks and training with him. And it's just really reignited my love for martial arts. And at 54, to go back into training like that is really exciting. Did
you dabble in martial arts when you were a kid as well? Did you take karate or different, things?
Yeah. I started with Shotokan karate, and over the years, I've studied some Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I've studied some American kickboxing. And I just pick up a little bit here and there. And now I'm also studying Filipino stick fighting and knife fighting with Daryl Vidal, who is in The Karate Kid and who is writing the foreword for Way of the Cobra, or he actually wrote it already, and who is credited for the inventor of the crane kick. Yeah.
Wow.
Have these guys to study with.
That is cool. That is cool. A number of people, of course, they're welcoming you. And of course, if you remember last time, the viewers call themselves the Lovities. They call me Mr. Levity. They call this Levity Hall because I said light, love, and levity too quickly, and I said Levity. So a number of them are saying they, of course, remember you from Bold and the Beautiful and General Hospital and all the great soap operas, and they're wondering if you would return to any of them or have thought about going back on any of them, or you've certainly had your turn with them for sure.
Listen, I love the soap operas, and Studio City really is kind of a love letter to the soaps. It's a medium I worked in off and on since 1992, so it's had a major place in my heart and in my life. I never say never, because some of the things that have circled back in my career I never thought would happen. I really loved my time on The Bold and the Beautiful, and at some point, if that ever became a possibility, I would be open to that if my schedule would allow. But I got to tell you, there's very few times in an actor's life when you get to work creatively with people that you love. And my wife is an Emmy-nominated writer and producer, Studio City. My dear friend and our director, Tim Woodward Jr., and so many of the people that are castmates, and to have, as the creator of the show, to have the ability to give significant input into the show is a freedom that actors very rarely get. So I'm not super jumping to get out of that because it's just so much damn fun.
Right, exactly. And you enjoy producing and being involved. How about directing? Do you enjoy getting involved in directing as well?
I haven't directed yet. I directed a commercial. I I directed one commercial. Directing is something that I think at some point I would like to do. I like producing. I like kind of the making the deal, raising money, running around, and here's the thing. When you're producing a $50 million movie, there's the challenges are not the same as when you have like no money and you're trying to produce a show. That's for me really producing. When you are literally figuring out how the hell you're going to be able to make a show when you don't know if you have enough money for the locations and this and that. And somehow it all comes together because it's kind of like hobo stew. Everybody on the production team, brings something to the pot. And by the time you're done, you got soup and it's stew, I guess. And it somehow happens. And it's exciting. It's incredibly nerve-wracking and frustrating, and you pull your hair out. But when it comes together, man, it's unbelievable.
Anything you haven't done yet that you'd still like to do besides everything? Because you're quite an entrepreneur. You've always got your hands on a lot of really cool projects, and I know you're in a position now because you've really put the time in and the blood, sweat, and tears and the sacrifice, and you've done well. But you're really picking projects and things that have a lot of heart and soul to them and meaning to them that really leave the room better than you found it, right? You have the opportunity to say, okay, well, this project really speaks to me. So I'd like to really sink my teeth into this one because it reflects, who I am and what I'm thinking about and, how I want to, help out the world, inspire people.
Absolutely. I absolutely, we're committed to doing the next season of Studio City, and that's something that's near and dear to my heart. My father is writing a book right now. I think it's probably his sixth or seventh book, and it's based on the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA. And there's
Oh,
uh,
cool.
a, a docu series right now that Ron Howard and Brian Grazer have on Netflix, and it's about this hotel. And if you don't know about it, it has got a very dark and very scary past. It was the last place that the Black Dahlia victim was seen. Richard Ramirez lived there. There was a girl who was found dead in the water tanks above. There was a serial killer there. And so I would really, I would like to see a film be adapted from my father's book, and it would give me
Nice.
incredible pleasure to be able to produce that and work with him on that.
That is really cool. I think we had chatted about this a little bit when you were on last time, but I don't think Dwight was with us, so maybe he was. He wanted to know what was your very first acting role.
Oh boy, oh God, I'm loath to tell you, but so I got offered this horrendous horror film when I first started out, and my manager begged me not to do it, but I just had to get my foot in the
Yeah.
game. And it was, when I tell you that it stunk on ice, that's being kind. Like if they could give negative tomatoes, anyway.
This would be.
But you know what? In retrospect, it was a lot of fun. It was a horror film that took place in a large, multi-leveled warehouse in downtown LA, where basically a bunch of kids go play hide and go seek, and there's a murder. And it was actually really scary because they had set it up that there's all these creepy mannequins everywhere, and you'd have to go report to set, and you'd have to walk up by yourself, and it was dark, and there'd be these creepy mannequins and everything. But it got me in front of the camera. So that was basically my first acting role. Was a really, really lousy horror film. You can find the title yourself.
Horror, literally. What would you say to somebody who, has admired your career and has followed you along and seen you in all these different venues and shows and productions, Sean, who's, they're considering maybe getting their feet wet and diving into an acting or producing career, just the field of entertainment?
I would say that if there's any other way that you could make money and do something, do that. But if your heart absolutely tells you that that's what you want to do, then if you want to be an actor, I would say a couple things. I would say the first thing is that you got to study. You know, you've got to get into an acting class to prepare yourself to understand, because, you know, acting isn't just having a good personality, or, you know what I mean, or being an interesting person. There's technique to it, and you got to learn it. I think the other thing too is that we, in a lot of ways, COVID aside, are in a really great period for becoming an actor, in the sense that, you know, we've got the internet now. Like, you know, when I was coming up, people would always say, well, do you have any tape? Meaning, is there anything I can look at of you acting? And you usually would have to go and hire someone with a camera to film you doing a scene. Well, now everybody's got an iPhone or a smartphone. You can film yourself and upload it to YouTube or even your social media, and you have something now that you can show an agent or a casting director. So there's no excuse for not doing anything and waiting, because I promise you, Hollywood does not come knocking at your door. Okay, you got to go bang down Hollywood's door. And believe me, after 30 years, I'm still banging. But if it's something that you absolutely want to do, you know, learn as much as you can about as many different aspects of it, and don't let anybody tell you no. You know, who is anybody to tell you that you shouldn't pursue your dream? It ain't gonna be me. I mean, you know, that's what my book's about. So, you know, get out there and do it. Be proactive and make it happen.
You think you have to have thick skin going in, or you develop the thick skin as you're in it?
Having thick skin going in helps. You certainly will either develop it, or you'll quit.
Yeah.
It's a rough business. It really is. It's hard. I mean, it's a business that is largely built on rejection and psychological imbalance. Not in the sense of being crazy, but you're you know, here's the thing. You're constantly feeling like you're just about there, and sometimes it gets snatched away from you. And you have to be able to sort of keep the middle path and not get overly emotional when you get a role, and not get overly emotional when you don't get one. And the other thing too, and this is something it took me a long time to learn, you have to be able to find your happiness outside of the business. You can't only be happy when you're an employed actor, or you will be spectacularly unhappy the majority of your life. Most actors, even the really successful ones, are out of work a lot.
Yeah.
And if you allow that to define you, you're not going to have a very full life.
Mm. Beautifully said, and so true. And anybody that is considering going into these industries, listen up, listen up. Merlin, who's watching in Ontario, Canada, has a quick question. She asks, Sean, do you like to play a good guy or a bad guy? Have a preference?
You know, bad guys are a lot of fun to play. They really are. I like the characters that are like the anti-heroes. You know, you look at the older movies with Paul Newman, like Cool Hand Luke, The Hustler, you know, where he was the protagonist, but he really is an anti-hero, you know, a guy with significant, sorry, something caught my throat. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's it.
It's probably a dog hair from one of these beasts that are here.
Yeah, you're surrounded by dogs in your friend's house, right?
Yeah, well, there's 4 of them, because we have 1, he has 2, and somehow we got snookered into watching another friend's who broke up with her boyfriend. So literally, I have 4 beasts sleeping in the bedroom, and it's insanity.
Last time Sean was on, he was at another friend's house. I don't think he knows what his own house looks like anymore.
I'm actually trains a lot, and I just bounce from one place to the other.
That's it.
I completely forgot what we were talking about. Okay. Good guys or bad guys?
Yeah.
I like playing the characters that live within the shades of gray, you know, that aren't black or white, because I think there are times that good people do questionable things, and there are times that people who are not good do things that are good. And I think that,
right.
You know, characters that are trying to do good and you know, looking for absolution and all that sort of stuff, fighting their own human flaws that we all have. I think those are the interesting characters.
Yeah. Was there ever a role that you wish that you got or you passed up on, or you were like, I'm not ready for that, or anything that was like, right there, and you're like, just didn't come your way, or you didn't want it, or the
No,
one that got away type thing?
early on in my career, there was a TV show about Elvis Presley's life, and
Mm,
I forget how this happened. They brought me into the executive's office, and they were very, very seriously considering having me play Elvis. And for some reason that is just unbeknownst to me, I just didn't feel that would be good for me at the time, which was one of the stupidest decisions I made. Um, Look, every actor has a story like that. There's so many famous actors that have passed on roles that went on to be Oscar-winning huge roles. That's part of the journey. I do believe that certain roles are almost destined. I mean, the Karate Kid 3, I got that from an open call, which was basically a publicity stunt. I stood in line with 1,500 other people and was chosen out of the line by John Avildsen, who had done the first two films. He had won the Oscar for Rocky. And I went to that audition, and before I went there, I was back in Pennsylvania visiting friends on a break from school. And I told them about the audition, and I said, I'm going to get this role. And I mean, how audacious and arrogant for this kid from West Virginia to say that I'm going to go get this role. I had no idea I was going to get it. I had no idea. And it happened. And I wasn't even the first choice. They hired somebody else before me, and he worked for a week, and then they fired him and they brought me back.
mm,
So I
mm.
really did feel there was somewhat of a sense of destiny in my getting that role. And I talk a lot about it, in a whole chapter in Way of the Cobra, because it is a very interesting, compelling story about how I got the role, how I almost died during the filming, and how I had to rehabilitate myself and get back in the game so the kid could stay in the picture.
So there's a lot of life lessons and a lot of deep sharing in this book, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I really poured my heart and soul into this. I wanted to be as honest as I could be about it, and I wanted to share as much as I could to help as many people as I could. And for all the people that have pre-ordered the book and are patiently waiting for it to come out, I really appreciate it, because I say it again right in the introduction that it means a great deal to me that people are putting their faith in me to act as their sensei through the journey of this book, and I don't take that lightly. And
Hmm.
I know that by the end of the book that I'm going to help people make a difference in their lives.
Which is really, really beautiful. So the book is almost out, or how can they get the book?
So So the book is available for pre-order right now at wayofthecobra.com. You can read a part of the introduction and get a real good flavor for what the book is about. And I would encourage everybody who can to pre-order it. Of course, I would. I'm a guy with a book. Why wouldn't I do that, right? So,
Yeah.
but the book will be out in about 6 weeks, and I can't wait for people to have it and read it and start to hear what they think, and have people tell me about some of the positive changes that they're able to make in their lives from what I'm sharing in the book.
Do you see another one coming after that? Will this be a series of books, you think?
Yeah, like I would like that. The book sort of ends by me congratulating everybody for getting their black belt and making it through the dojo. And I remind everybody that, when you get your black belt, that's when the learning really begins. It's not the end, it's just the beginning. And, part of being a Cobra is paying it forward and sharing it with others. And I very much want to have a follow-up book. One of the things that I've thought about is doing a book with my wife under this framework of Way of the Cobra, but Way of the Cobra for relationships. Because, one of the things that I'm the most proud of in my adult life is my relationship with my wife, Michelle. And a marriage is not easy. And it's not that she isn't easy, it's that I'm a pain in the ass. But it takes work. But there are certain strategies that if you use them in a marriage, you have a better chance of succeeding in being happy. And I think there's stuff like that that we'd like to share.
What would be maybe one brief one that you could share now that might actually help somebody, a couple that's watching who are going through a little bit of a rough patch, perhaps being cooped up, in the house for 10 months together, learning about each other again?
Yeah, that's a tough one. What are some of the, well, I mean, everyone says this, communication, of course, is important, but for me, we're really honest with each other. I can be Sean, and I don't have to be anyone else for my wife. And that's a huge thing. I think the other thing too is that it's really important to remember that even though you're a cohesive unit as a couple, each individual has their own unique dreams. And I think it's important to help your partner reach those dreams, which may not necessarily be yours. I think it's important to listen. And I also think it's really important to keep your sex life going. I mean, you always hear stories about guys who are having affairs because, they're like, oh, that's the mother of my kids. I could never do this, that, or the other with my wife. And so they wind up looking for something else, outside the marriage. And I think it's really important that you have all things within the marriage with your partner. And I think that keeps it fresh, and I think it keeps it interesting and exciting. And you got to realize that there are times that sometimes life seeps into your relationship, and there's work, there's all sorts of stuff, there's stress. But if you stay in the game and you stay committed, it's kind of like the water hitting the beach. The water keeps hitting the beach, but every now and then, man, that big wave comes in, and it's like a big emotional wave, and you realize why you fell in love with that person, what you love about them, and it's just as exciting as it ever was.
Did you notice that as soon as you mentioned sex life, the dogs started really barking profusely?
Well, they're a big part of it. I can't really talk about it, but
Right. To be in the next
but
book.
I feel like it is because they've been sleeping in the damn bed. I literally have 4 beasts that will not leave the bed. I wake up with a paw on my face. I got like an ass over here, and then I've got our little dog Charlie, these are big dogs too. My little pug is just like, what have you done to me? She feels like she's in Gen Pop in prison.
Do you see yourself doing, like with the motivational speaking, coaching, things of that nature, going to sort of the way Tony Robbins does? Once you are able to do it, of course, some of the larger arenas where lots of people come and you're speaking to them, and maybe teaming up with some of the others that are doing that as well?
Absolutely. That's something I would very much like to do. I think that there's so much to be learned from people like Tony and some of these other people that have been doing it. But I also think I've got a unique message, and more than a unique message, I've got a unique package. You can hear the same advice again and again. And listen, say for instance you're getting advice from your father, but you got a crummy relationship from your father. It doesn't matter. It's not going to sink in. So a lot of times, in order to receive the present, you got to like the wrapping paper to unwrap it. And so maybe I'm the guy that my delivery system is what's going to finally get you to understand some stuff that you probably have known all along. And it's like I said, it's already within you. You just got to learn how to get in touch with it and let it out.
Exactly right. Exactly right, my friend. This has been really cool. I want to let folks know too that again, they can pre-order the book. Tell us again where they can pre-order the book, Sean.
It's wayofthecobra.com. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's Sean.Kanan, and Twitter is @SeanKanan. And all the stuff that I'm doing, I put it out there so everybody can keep up with it and kind of share it with me.
And again, Studio City. Yeah. That's on Amazon Prime for folks. Yeah, for folks that are
something to binge watch. And listen, we've all just probably plowed through so many shows over the last 6 months. If you're looking for something really fun and engaging, please watch Studio City. I think you'll really like it.
Have you learned any medical jargon, or have had to really dive into the books in that role? This one here.
No, I haven't. I
Yeah.
can say code blue and stat. Yeah.
Stat.
So that's stat.
And bend over.
But not yet, but I'm sure.
That's it, right? Exactly. That is funny. Well, this was great, my friend. Thanks for taking time to join us here on the Jim Master Show Live. Really, really appreciated your time, and I think everything that you're doing, Sean, is really fantastic. And I'm so glad you're able to pop back on with us and update us on some of the cool things that are happening. The book is exciting. Some of the other things, the coaching that you're going to be doing, and really lifting people up and empowering people, which we talk about a lot, with everybody here on the show. If you can leave the room better than you found it, there's nothing better than that, and inspire people. Sometimes, through your work, because we've had a lot of comments from our lovely viewers. I loved him in The Karate Kid. I loved him on the soap operas. I love him in Studio City and all these different. And sometimes you don't realize when you're immersed in the actual work, those that you are inspiring along the way. And then, you get comments, feedback, you meet them in the supermarket or what have you. And people start telling you, wow, there's something you did, or the role you played, or the book you wrote, or some statement you made that really lifted me up and told me that I can do it too. Right. And that's important.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's a way for me to connect with people that are strangers. They see my work, or if they've looked at my books, and it instantly kind of facilitates a dialogue where you're almost like forming a friendship immediately. They feel like they know me, and they do. And it allows me kind of some common ground to talk with them. And that's what I love doing. I love connecting with people. I love inspiring people.
Want to show you some of the comments from our viewers all around the world. Kathleen Walker in New York City says, thanks for coming back, Sean. Great show. Stay safe. Have always loved your work. Matthew says, thank you, Sean. Mary Bishop in Florida. Great chat, Sean and Jim. Take care, Sean. Bernadette Vidal says, thank you, Sean. Also, Maureen saying, great time tonight. Thank you, Sean. Linda Odell in St. Augustine, Florida. Thanks, Sean, for once again sharing with us Lovities. Merlin in Ontario, Canada, saying, thanks, Sean. Stay safe. And Juanita, one of our loyal Lovities, who's watching in South Africa,
Wow.
where it's late night. It's tomorrow already. Great conversation. Thanks for your time and insights, Sean. Keep well. Jennifer Barry, buried in 2 feet of snow in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You probably remember that from Pennsylvania, right?
Hey, guys.
Good old Allentown. Thanks for spending time with us, Sean. Jen is Zen, and Wozniak. Really enjoy spending this time with you tonight, Sean. Looking forward to reading your book. Thank you. So she's going to be getting the book. Dwight says, thanks, Sean. And Angie says, thanks, Sean and Jim, for a great interview. Absolutely. My pleasure. And I don't even call them interviews. I call them conversations. Stay safe, stay well. Exactly. Just let it roll and let it flow. No script, no questions. No, we don't need any teleprompters, you or me, for this one. Stay safe, stay well. Sean from Bernadette. Kathy Short in Cleveland. Great info. Thanks for coming back, Sean. And Sherry says, thank you, Sean. Please take care and stay safe. Lots of levity coming your way, my friend, from the viewers on the Jim Master Show here.
They're really kind. And I love that it's so international. That's exciting. So good for you, and good for all of your success. Your show is really uplifting, and it's a pleasure to be back on. And I hope we can do this again at some point.
Absolutely. I tell you, doing this work professionally in the real world, and then people for years telling me to do something like this. We brought in the TV lights, built home studio, and just, flip the switch, and then boom. And we've created a really nice community here, and you're a part of it. And it was awesome that you're able to pop back. Let's stay in touch. Keep me posted on some of the new things. And I can even, just on other episodes, just, hey, catch Sean in this, catch Sean in that. And we'll have you come back. The door, the porch light will always be on for you. And I do hope, like we mentioned, whether you're on the East Coast or I'm on a TV show in LA, maybe we'll get together.
Anyway, thank you so much. I want to just to all your viewers, thank you. Please stay safe, and it was wonderful being here again with you. So take care of yourself.
Cheers, my friend. You take care. All right. And the phone held out this time. Take care. Bye-bye now. Yes, we wanted to make sure that the phone held out this time because if you may remember, the first time he was on, his phone sort of conked out. We had a little bit of an epic conversation, and the phone conked out. So when he came on, I had said to him, he mentioned, I think that his phone was already only at about 30%. So I said, you know what? How about this? We have our show open, and then I greet some of our lovely viewers around the world, and then I do a little bit of an introduction. And I say hello, and as a host, a talk show host and a television and radio personality, we don't just dive right into an interview. We host. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series where we host. So I do all of that in the beginning, and then a little bit like I'm doing now at the end, some host chat with our viewers, which I love doing because I do this kind of work professionally. And I said, I'll do a little chat in the beginning. And by that time, maybe your phone will be charged up. So that's what he did. And it worked out beautifully. He was charging as I was starting the show, and the theme music to our show started, our series. And I was greeting all the wonderful regular lovely viewers and some new people tuning in tonight as well. We welcome all of you here to the Jim Master Show Live. He was getting his phone all charged up. So it was perfect. Like an hour and 15 minutes. I thought it was ideal. Plus, he's also at his friend's house too. So he'll be back. He loves being on this show. All these guests, I just hear from them so often. We text each other, we write each other, we call each other, and they all want to come back. And I think that's really, really cool. They like the atmosphere. They love all the lovely comments from our lovely viewers. They love this interaction that we have, which is pretty rare. A lot of shows don't really do that. And they don't always show even the comments on the screen. They'll just say, oh, hi, Bob, and hi, Judy, and hi, Tammy, and hi, Cindy, and then move on. They don't always, actually visually show some of the action that's happening. But I've always done that in my professional work too. I love bringing in, the viewers. Hey, if you're a Waltons fan, tomorrow we've got a very special guest, Cami Kotler from the Waltons. Yes, and so much more. She's done a lot of wonderful things. She's here tomorrow. Yeah, it's sort of like television week here on the Jim Master Show Live, which is so apropos for me. Cami Kotler from the Waltons is here tomorrow night, and that's going to be really, really cool. We're very, very, very excited about it. And you know what? Next week, Hank Garrett's going to be here. Hank Garrett, voice of G.I. Joe and a lot of different productions. He was also in a legendary TV series, Car 54, Where Are You? There he is. There's Hank, the legend, iconic television and movie, iconic actor, as well as comedian. He's going to be here coming up next week. And that's on Wednesday. It's going to be really, really exciting. Looking forward to that. Yeah, that's going to be great. And Kenny James, legendary Kenny James, renowned bassist and musician, live on the Jim Master Show Live. He's going to perform live. He's going to be here next Friday, which is very, very special. Violinist and Irish fiddler Tiffany Moore is with us next week as well. This is her return visit too. She's all excited, dear friend, and she's going to be back performing live. I know you guys loved when she was on, so she's going to be coming back on as well, and I'm very excited about that. And on Tuesday, renowned smooth jazz saxophonist and composer Will Donato is here on Tuesday exclusively. That's this Tuesday on the Jim Masters Show Live. That is going to be amazing. That's Tuesday the 16th, which is going to be really, really cool. So we got a lot of great guests next week. Going to be amazing. So Cami Kotler from the Waltons is going to be here tomorrow. Saturday, again, Brian Dunphy, brilliant Irish singer, songwriter, musician from the High Kings. He's going to be here live from Ireland, which is going to be really cool. He's going to perform live, and that's at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and it'll be 7 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and also in England and the UK as well. So you guys enjoy yourself. It was great having Sean back. If you didn't see the first episode we did, I think we did, it was a 2-hour plus show or something like that. Check that out. You can see all of the episodes from the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series on our YouTube channel. We would love it if you subscribe, those watching live and those who watch this later in the archives, because I know a lot of people watch the show later in the archives. Kathleen Walker says, great show, Jim. Sean is great. Looking forward to tomorrow and all the upcoming shows. Boy, do we have a bevy of great shows and guests planned. Boy, some incredible people. And we also have some host chats. Lin, the big panda, is making a return visit this weekend to the Jim Masters Show Live as well, which is Valentine's weekend. Yes, talk about lovity. It's one of the ultimate lovity weekends is coming up this weekend here on the Jim Masters Show Live as well. Have a great night, Jim. Good night and all stay safe. Lovely hugs as well. Anne says, good night, everyone. Thanks, Jim, for another wonderful evening. My pleasure. Maureen says, you make us feel valued. Jim, you are valued. We say that all the time, everybody. Each and every one of you are valued. Absolutely. We love having all of you here. And Linda Odell says, good night. Thoroughly enjoyed tonight's show. Thank you very much, Linda. Gary says, so you didn't see his chair tonight? No, but we saw the guest chair live from New York City last night, Gary. Broadway producer Mark Levine was with us. We had a great, epic, lot of fun, a lot of laughs. We saw his chair. He actually gave us a tour of his New York City apartment as well. Mona says, thanks for the time tonight, Miss Sean on Bold and Beautiful. Absolutely. Bernadette says, it was definitely odd not to be here for a few days, like losing a limb. Well, we are so glad you are here with us. Matthew, thank you, Matthew Tardif, for joining us. It's a pleasure having you here. That was incredible. Thank you. That's a sample of that's like a brief sample of what we actually do here on the Jim Masters Show Live every day with all of our great guests and with all of you lovities, all the fantastic people who watch the show. So again, Cami Kotler from the Waltons is here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And a lot of you are getting familiar with YouTube, which is really good. And we're building the channel, so it really helps us content-wise and helps us create more episodes. You know, we'll have some on Facebook as well too, but we're really thrusting the YouTube. And I'm glad a lot of you have figured it all out. It's so wonderful to see the regulars and new people joining us. Good night, Jim. It's been a pleasant evening. Kathy Short in Cleveland, you as well. Gary, thank you for that package. I'm going to talk about it this weekend. Very kind of you, Gary, to send that package with those wonderful gifts and that heartfelt letter that you wrote. I really appreciate that. You're a good guy, and I were there, Gary. Thank you very much. Bernadette, good night, Jim. Thanks for a cool show. Good night, everyone. You as well. Great show, Juanita. Great show again. Thanks, Jim. Keep well, everyone, and good night. Sherry, good to see you as well. Hope you're doing well. Good night, Jim and Lovity. See you again soon. Take care, you as well. And Matthew says something we love seeing. I'll be back for sure. Perfect. And you know who will be waiting for you as well, Matthew? Our friend, George Burns. He's one of our cast of characters here on the Jim Masters Show Live. He's always by my side. He's sort of my Ed McMahon, and he can't wait for you to be back. You're welcome, Gary, and thank you, Gary, as well. And also, if you notice, we have Gilligan there. Right there. That's an actual Gilligan doll sent to us by Bob Denver, who played Gilligan, his wonderful wife, Dreama Denver, who's joining us. She's a wonderful person, radio station owner. She's a children's book author. She has a new book out. She has been in the industry for a long time, and she's going to be joining us live from her home once again in West Virginia. And if you didn't see the episode we do with Dreama Denver, it's on our YouTube channel. It was fantastic. Those of you who like television, we've interviewed or have welcomed to our show a lot of great television stars, film stars, music people. and so much more. We have a lot of people who will be joining us on the show from a wealth of different backgrounds too. It's going to be really exciting. We have a 2021 that's just steaming along with light, love, and levity and lovity, where we learn something. Morgan Fairchild would be fantastic. Dwight, work your magic. Love to have her on. Have always been a fan of Morgan Fairchild. Stay safe and stay well, everybody. You, Bernadette, as well. It's good to see you. And Maureen says, it's been a wonderful evening with my lovely family, lovely, and hugs to all. You as well, Maureen. Mona in Louisiana. Good night, Jim and the lovelies. Hope all have a great night. Enjoyed tonight. Stay safe and warm hugs to all. Thanks again for being here and for all of us. Hey, we also had a wonderful, epic, lengthy conversation with the one and only Melissa Manchester. And you can see that on our YouTube channel. It was fantastic. Loved having Melissa here. Again, we have some amazing people next week as well. And some really, really cool guests we've been having. And all of you tuning in and chiming in with your posts just makes it extra, extra special. One more time, we thank Sean Kanan for joining us here on the show. Don't forget to check him out in Studio City on Amazon Prime. And it was a blast. And of course, a lot of you remember him, of course, from Karate Kid. Yep, you got it. And from the soap operas, Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, and so much more. And his book, Way of the Cobra, his wife designed the cover as well. Beautiful work she did. He's a cool guy, and we love having him on the show. And it's a real pleasure. We love having conversations with him. There's his first book too. We talked about it when he was here on the his first go round on the Jim Master Show live a few months back when Sean was my guest. We talked about this as well, but there it is. And again, there he is playing the doctor. Amazing guests coming up next week. Legends in their own time, and so many more people coming up. It's going to be really, really cool. And again, Cammie Kotler from the Waltons is on tomorrow. And of course, we're 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Love having you here. And as we always say, share the links, share the lovity, tell all your friends about our show as we continue to grow by leaps and bounds. Don't forget to share a smile. It's very contagious. We talked about a lot of positivity on today's episode. Don't forget to share the lovity as well. Find your Zen place. Mine is with loving family and friends, of course. That's number one. And then I would say music and cycling and tennis. The ocean as well is a Zen place for me. Growing up on the East Coast of the United States in the Northeast. We're here in the New York area between New York and Boston on the Southern New England coast. We've always had access to the ocean, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, kite surfing, sailing it, floating in it, walking. Just love the ocean. That's a really Zen place. And also my work in television and radio, multimedia, on air, on camera, behind the scenes. As a TV radio personality, have continue to love it all, and all the people I work with and all the shows I've been involved in professionally. Love it, love it, love it. So always find your Zen place, wherever that may be. It's really important to do that. And something else that's really important is to relax. We always say to try to relax as much as you can, gang. Relax, breathe. Breathe from the diaphragm, love one another. And of course, we talked about it too. You got to love yourself too, not in an egotistical, narcissistic way. Just appreciate that you have value and that you matter. We all do. We all should be at the table. We should all be included. Yeah, I tend to be a unifier type. I like to, I'm a Libra. So if anybody follows any of the astrological signage, Libras like balance and harmony. They loathe injustice, and they see both sides of a question. So if you pose somebody like a Libra, you pose a question to a Libra, they don't jump at the answer. They usually, they get a piece of paper and they do a pro and con list. Okay, how many pros do we have? How many cons do we have? Okay, should we, But there are some times where we just jump and we'll make a quick decision, which is very relieving too. But a lot of times we'll think about it and tend to be empathetic. And so relax, relax. For those of you who are new to the show, we picked this up actually at a shop in Newport, Rhode Island, when we were with a family on a family vacation one of the summers. And so perfect and apropos for the Jim Masters Show live, right? So cool show. Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to have some fun on Valentine's weekend. Lovety weekend, I think is what we'll be calling it. I cheer all of you and you and you. What's in this San Francisco mug? When I was on a TV shoot in San Francisco, we picked this up. If you may remember, I debuted this when Nikita Burstein, the wonderful singer and actor, was with us, and he's from the San Francisco area. Just a little pink lemonade. From where? Trader Joe's. I really need to talk to them. I really should have them as a sponsor, you know? I really have them as a sponsor. From Mary Bishop, who sent this over the holidays. We're still looking at this wonderful book that she sent. We really appreciate this. She sent a whole bevy of goodies. Let's see. There we go. 9 Fruits of the Spirit. Kindness by Robert Strand. 9 Fruits of the Spirit, a devotional series by Robert Strand called Kindness. And inside it has all kinds of wonderful things that, you know, it has little comments and little words and things of that nature, you know, wonderful statements, but also there are assignments as well. And we've been working on that. On the assignments, really a nice gift as well. So let's check in with the few comments that we have coming up here. Let's see. Juanita, still with us in South Africa. Jim, if you ask us Libras a question, you'll get an answer both ways, and we might change our minds on that as well. And it doesn't mean, Juanita, that we talk out of both sides of our mouth either. There are people who you'll get 2 different answers from, and they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. We're actually giving it some deep thought before we commit. I think that's, you know, to whatever our answer is going to be on whatever the question is. But you got to admit, Juanita, sometimes when you just go do it, you don't even think, you just do it. It could be fun. It could be cool. It could be fun. Hot as hell here. February is our hottest month. So looking forward to March. Yeah. And we've got snow outside and it snowed a little bit this morning and it snowed 2 days ago and a foot and a half. We're in this snowy pattern here. And we've got another storm coming Saturday into Sunday, and then something might be icy on Tuesday. We're just in, but the upper Midwest, they're talking about temperatures in places like Minnesota and Wisconsin and North and South Dakota. I think maybe even Iowa as well. Possibly wind chills minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 60. All of that coming down out of Canada. God bless our viewers in Canada. I don't know how they do it, because when we get these temperatures coming into the States here, it's tough stuff. So you're having a heat wave there in South Africa right now. And well, hopefully you are, your state is coffee milk. Hopefully you got some fans, air conditioning going. Hopefully your daughter is jumping around in that cute swimming pool that you've got there as well. And you've got lots of snow where you are and more coming. Stay warm. Absolutely. Kathleen Walker, kisses to you. And Christine says, thanks for another inspirational show, Jim. Enjoyable show with Sean. Everyone stay safe out there, Jim. See you and all the lovelies tomorrow. Night. Yeah, Cami Cutler from the Waltons is going to be here. And then we have another guest a couple of weeks from now from the Waltons. And then we have one of the stars of the original West Side Story that's going to be on our show. And we got a lot of cool things happening. Don't forget dodging jellyfish, huh? You know, we talked about that last night on the show when I was floating in the Atlantic Ocean, swimming in Miami. And it was really, really nice. Gary in Iowa, you guys are in a deep freeze. I was just talking about that. They're talking about temperatures that might exceed minus 60 degrees, wind chilled. Whew. Wow. And you guys have been getting hit with a lot of snow there in Iowa, USA as well. Snow, snow, snow. Sounds like a real snow job. Yeah, you guys got hit too in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Now, Sean Kanan, our guest, was born in Cleveland, Ohio, but he grew up in Western Pennsylvania there. You're in Eastern, of course, Allentown. And 24 inches, and you're going to get more. I know. For those who plow, they're having a good year this year because the last several years have not been snowy years here in the Northeast. We've actually been lucking out. They just have not been snowy. But this year, hey, 2020 and 2021, anything seems to still go. Too bad about Mary Wilson from the Supremes. And she was somebody that we were actually considering possibly having as a guest on our show. And she just posted a wonderful video that I actually saw before she passed away. I think it was on Sunday she posted it on YouTube. And then we got the news on Monday night. She had passed away suddenly at her home in Las Vegas. She was a legend, absolutely. Beautiful voice, of course, originally with Florence and Diana Ross, of course, with the Supremes, one of the original girl groups, and was absolutely amazing. Truly an American treasure, Motown legend. And there's been a lot of, here in the United States and, of course, elsewhere, there's been a lot of commentary and coverage on Mary's passing because it was sudden. She was 76. So, and she had new music coming out and was all excited, and she was celebrating Black History Month this month, and she had all these things planned, and I think it was Universal was coming out with all new records, and they were re-releasing material that hadn't been, well, I think there was one thing that was never released, and it's going to be released. So she had a lot of incredible things, on deck, and then she just passed away suddenly Monday. So life is short, as we've seen with the experiences we've all had, not just with, those that we've admired, Hal Holbrooks and Cicely Tysons and Hank Aaron, the baseball player, and Cloris Leachman and, Larry King and everybody else, but also, in our own families, in our own lives. So Kathleen, with prayers and hearts, absolutely. And February has certainly turned into a winter wonderland. As much as I talk about the ocean and the beach, Christine, it is not beach weather. Although it is kind of cool to go towards the beach when it's warmer. It's something cool when you see snow on the sand and then you see the water. And then you see like the silhouettes of the trees. It's very visually stunning, but I would not take the dip in it right now. Unless you're, I've never joined the Polar Bear Club, the Polar Bear Club, the people that go in the water when it's the dead of winter. I've never been dared to do that. Did any of you ever do the ice bucket challenge when they did that? Remember the ice bucket challenge a couple of years ago to raise money for charity? People they took the buckets of ice, dumped it on their head, and they were freezing. And that was 2-3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when people were doing the ice bucket challenge. Everybody was doing it. Celebrities were doing it. Really, really cool. Jennifer's having some Jameson Irish whiskey to keep Ken and she warm. That'll do the trick. And again, Gary's freezing in Iowa. And Juanita says, sounds lovely, Gary. Yes, Jim, my daughter lives in the swimming pool. I know when we had that clip of you and your daughter. We have a lot of great videos that have come in from our guests as well as our viewers. And we're going to be devoting a show to that coming up, celebrating some of the guests and our viewers. So many wonderful things that people have videoed just wonderful comments about the show and their experiences as guests and viewers as lovedies as well. You guys did the Ice Bucket Challenge. Frigid, huh? Absolutely. Marcia, my friend in Massachusetts, USA, you have a wonderful night as well. And again, I hope you guys are doing well. Remember, no matter what the day brings you, whatever the news brings you, you're valued, you're very important. Keep smiling and keep the faith, build that resilience, and do some things that you've always wanted to do. Now is a good time because life is short, life is precious. And, I love to inspire people and uplift them. And, while you do that, you're inspiring and uplifting yourself. It's very therapeutic. So find those things that really matter to you and share them with the world. Could be something basic. Doesn't always have to be something that is monumental and expensive and flashy. It could be something that is, very simple and easy, just something that is basic, but can be really, really meaningful to people. I mean, whether it's a hobby or it's something that you're creating and building, something you've always wanted to do. Maybe it's writing a book, learning an instrument, learning a language. I'd love to do this show one day, an episode where I can do it bilingual. I took one of the courses in communications in college was Spanish, and I need to brush up on that because I would love to do, a Spanish episode or part of the show in Spanish. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe we'll do French. So that'd be kind of cool to reach other languages as well. It would be wonderful to be a bilingual host. There's a few words that I still remember, and I have all the audiobooks, and I still actually have books. How many of you who went to college still have your college textbooks? I still have my media and the law book. I still have the Spanish, still have thesaurus. Do people even use a thesaurus anymore? Can anybody even see thesaurus anymore? Have all of that and several other books that I just saved that were really cool. First of all, they were very expensive. Anybody that went off to school, you remember how expensive college books were and are, so kept them. I remember, I don't know about you guys, but I remember in school, it was elementary as well as junior high school and in high school, we would have to put book covers over our books. And sometimes the mothers would take shopping bags and cut them up. And they would be like brown paper covers over the books to preserve the books. I remember that. I don't know if they are doing that now, but that was something that people did for a long time. And it was kind of cool. You always had to cover the books. And in college, a lot of times they did that as well, but still have all the college books. I still have all of my mechanical drawings from when I was in high school. One of the things I took was mechanical drawing because I was studying architecture and mechanical drawing as well, and still have all of those drawings of architectural renderings of houses and offices and buildings and structures. And every once in a while I pull that out, and some cartoonistry as well. Every once in a while I go into the scrapbooks and to the boxes and the bins, and we pull out some stuff from school, whether it's college, high school, elementary school, family photo albums, all that kind of stuff. I have a huge broadcasting career scrapbook with letters and letters that people have written to me over the years, from my years on TV and radio and elsewhere on stage. And letters like somebody would write that, when I've done radio work, hosted radio shows, I don't listen to any other show on the station. I just listen to you, and I'm a shut-in, and you make me feel so comfortable. And I just love listening to the voice, and you make me feel safe. And letters like that I've received over the years that really mean a great deal, I have preserved with photos over the years in my career, working in television and radio and multimedia and all, with so many people. And just every once in a while, I like to pull out that book. I mean, all the way back to high school and then the career forward. And I like to pull that out every once in a while and just take a look at it. I think it's really good to do that. I think it's really good to bring out scrapbooks, bring out photo albums, bring out notes and letters and cards and different things you've received, things you've earned, maybe awards and accolades. Just bring them out to look at them every once in a while, because it's so easy to get caught up in the rut of day-to-day life, having to do the next thing, having to do, and we talk about that sometimes here on the Jim Master Show Live. We get so rolled up in all the things that we have to do today and prepare for tomorrow, and today and prepare for tomorrow, that we forget about some of the cool things that happened yesterday that got us to the point to be able to do what we just did today and what we're setting up for tomorrow. So I'm somebody who is very reflective. My father, very reflective as well, always likes to pull out, VHS family movies and 8mm family movies and film and photo albums and historical things. I remember, I think it was in high school, I used to write to the presidents too. I would write to the presidents, mayors, governors, in our area, and still have all those letters and those albums and photos and stuff like that. And also historical things too. Blackouts and blizzards and space shuttle taking off. I used to cut out, my father has always done this too, and he gave me his scrapbooks from when he was a kid and his Brooklyn Dodger baseball cards and cool things like that. Take the newspaper. I don't even know if they really bother with that too much now, but I mean, people aren't even really getting the newspaper, but we would cut the newspaper out and then put it in a scrapbook, like if it was the front page, Blizzard or whatever the big story was, and have scrapbooks with all the historical newspaper articles, Time magazine, Life magazine, People magazine, whatever it is. I used to collect the People magazines and the TV guides. I used to collect a lot of TV guides. And that's a TV thing, probably, TV buff. But when a celebrity or somebody of note would pass, I would always go make sure I got the copy of Newsweek, Time, Life, People that celebrated that person's life. Johnny Carson, Isabel Sanford, Lucille Ball, whoever it might be. And I still have a bin has those things in it. Not the TV guides. I have a couple of really precious TV guides that were given to me as gifts that are still in like wrapping. But as far as the others, things like I still have all the scrapbooks that have the newspaper clippings in them. And it's really cool to bring that out and thumb through and say, wow, we used to cut that out of the newspaper and the news article and story, and we actually either tape it or lightly glue the edges and put it in the book. To actually go through all of that trouble, to take time to do that, takes time and patience and research. And we didn't, I don't know if a lot of people do that anymore, but we still have all that. And every once in a while, cassette tapes, we used to make, mock shows and plays and TV shows, with cassette tapes and a cassette recorder, and still have a bin filled with all those cassette tapes, music tapes, all kinds of stuff. Every once in a while, we pull that out and we listen to it as well. But it's good. I think it's good to plan for tomorrow, live today, and go back a little bit. Take a day, go back, pull out the photo albums, pull out the scrapbooks. And sometimes you'll come across some gems that you forgot about. You're like, wow, I forgot about that letter that teacher wrote, or that friend sent. Or I remember when I was in college, I used to write to my relatives, my aunts and uncles and everybody, and I'd get these letters back. So I actually have these letters because when I was in college, I lived on campus. And then I remember I had a pen pal. There used to be this TV show I think it was on PBS. Was it PBS? I think, called The Big Blue Marble. And you used to be able to have a pen pal. And my pen pal, she was from Montmorency, France. And we would write back and forth and send photos and all kinds of cool things at Christmas time. I would from here in the United States. She would send some package from France, and we'd always be excited when we got each other's notes and packages. That was a cool thing to have a pen pal. I remember that. Her name was Patricia Porte. Yes, Porte. I remember that. We wrote for years and years and years. We wrote. Really, really cool. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I don't know if they even do that now. But let's see what some of our viewers are saying. Maybe we're taking you down to your early childhood as well. Let's see what we have here. Oh, yeah. Debbie Allen, another wonderful Debbie Allen. Absolutely. Yes, Juanita says a trip down memory lane is good for the soul. It really is. I second that emotion, Juanita. Thankful for all the photos you have. Yes. We have a storage bin. I think you've heard me mention that has a lot of music in it. Reel-to-reel tapes, cassettes, CDs, sealed LPs, and a lot of my television and radio work that's on tape and film and preserved, that I would never want to lose that. So it's not in the house. It's in a climate controlled storage, an indoor storage facility, not an outdoor with the garage. I mean, actually in a secure climate controlled, because you don't want anything to happen to any of that. But also the family photos and mementos and things like that are in there as well. Because I think if there was ever a fire, one of the first things that people sometimes wish that they grabbed is the photos, because the photos are irreplaceable, especially if there's folks that are gone that are in the photos, or things that were one-time events. So the photos, if you ever lose the photos, it's that is a tough one. And you mentioned Bernadette, I think, in this comment here. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my old memories due to a house issue years ago. Grateful for what we salvaged and making, I think you mean, I'm going to guess here. I'm going to guess. Now, if you weren't with us last night, Bernadette, but somebody had posted something. I think it might have been Juanita, and Juanita rolls with it, where I knew what she didn't type the word that she wanted to say, because we all type fast, and I do typos too. I hate my own typos, but it happens. And I know it doesn't let you go back and fix it, but for some reason, and I think it's because I used to do proofreading for a newspaper, and just because I've read a lot of scripts and I've done a lot of you have to think fast on your feet, being on radio and television, but especially when there's visual, I can sort of self-edit what I'm seeing in front of me to guess pretty well what the person really wanted to say. So I know you mean make making new memories all the time. Absolutely. New memories. Yes, that's right. New memories. We knew that. Ugh, typos. Yes, I agree. I loathe my own typos. And sometimes what happens is I'm so busy because I have so many people to answer and respond to and everything, that I don't take the 2 seconds to reread it. I send it and I'm like, you know what I tend to do? I tend to leave a word out, because when I write as if I'm speaking to the person. So I'm actually saying the words aloud. So because I'm saying them, I'm not always writing them. And usually the word the, or have you ever written something, like a sentence or a paragraph, especially, on your computer or you're texting, and you write the word twice, like the, or so. Sometimes I've caught myself doing that. I'm like, why did I write the? One the is perfect. Kathleen is thanking for all the photos that she's got. Absolutely. Bernadette says she loves looking at photos and videos. And Jennifer in Allentown skipped school as much as possible. At one time, they had truant officers who would come to the house if you skipped school. I don't know if that's still being done. You graduated high school? Yes. Fantastic. Juanita says, I gave my textbooks away last year. After 20 years, it was hard. I have donated some. We have brown paper rolls to cover the books. Starting all over now with your daughter going to grade 1 next week. Congratulations, grade 1. That's very cool. That's a big step in her life and in yours too. I know, absolutely. I know you're all excited and probably nervous as well. Book covers, some use the brown bags to cover, or wrapping tight paper around the school books. Absolutely. Bernadette says we still have to cover the books. And the brown paper bags, that was a big thing, right? Cutting up the shopping bags, those brown paper bags. And Kathleen remembers that in New York. Gary says, I remember that too. You still have your textbooks from school. Mona says, love your shirt, nice color on you. Thank you very much. It's kind of cool. It's sort of like a denim, and it's sort of like a two-tone. This is sort of soft up here. It's just really cool. Nice, very comfortable too. Thank you very much, Mona. I appreciate that. And did the ice bucket challenge as well. No time like the present. You got to live it. And you want to go tubing again. Fly down the mountain. So much fun. Tubing, sledding. Yeah, sledding. There was a great golf course on Long Island, Beth Page golf course. And they had these wonderful hills. We would take the sleds. Our parents would drive us there and we'd take the sleds down. And then in the summertime, when you would go to the golf course, you would always find money on the ground. And when you're a kid and you find money just blowing in the wind on the ground, you feel like you scored. You'd always find like a $20 bill or a $10 bill just laying on the ground. I think maybe the golfing and the cocktails that some of the adults were doing might have caused some money just falling out of the sky or out of the wallets onto the ground. Juanita says she's a sissy about cold water. Although if it's hot as hell, like you said, I would imagine some cold water right now sounds about good, right? Some more comments coming in here. You need a vacation. I know a lot of people aren't able to go on vacations. We are still talking about the Lovely Cruise. We talked about that a lot this week, the Lovely Cruise, putting that together. Matthew says, I've never been golfing, probably because I live in the smallest states. Where are you from, Matthew? What state are you in? What state do you live in? Love to know where the viewers are watching from. What state are you in? The smallest is Delaware, right? And then Rhode Island. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are talking about the editing. Protective glass. Fast thinker. Yes. I retracted it on purpose. Do the typo. That is funny. Adrian Zmed. Yes. Lou Diamond Phillips. Had an opportunity to meet Lou Diamond Phillips. He was terrific. Adrian Zmed would be great. He's the reason why you watch TJ Hooker. And you remember TJ Hooker, who was in that fantastic show on ABC, right? Adrian Zmed, and who else? Do you remember who else? He was in an episode of The Twilight Zone. You know who I'm talking about, right? He was in the episode of The Twilight Zone where he sees the monster on the wing of the plane. He thinks he sees a monster on the wing of the plane. Do you know who we're talking about? He was also Captain Kirk in Star Trek. Yes, William Shatner. Oh, you're in Rhode Island, in New England. So I'm sure you, Rhodesia Island. Yeah, I like that. This is fun. I know what you meant. Rhodesia Island. Ooh, that sounds exotic. Rhode Island, home to Providence and Woonsocket and Newport. Spelling sucks on iPad. Bernadette says she's in the doghouse for missing after always being here for every show. You got it. Dwight William Shatner. Yes. And Bill Shatner as well. And Juanita saying, ooh, that was the worst episode, made flying very uncomfortable for years. Oh, that was such a good, I love the Twilight Zone. That's such a classic episode. I know. The endings were always twisted. You never knew what the endings were like. Finding a fair carnival, wait till it leaves, walks the grounds, land, we found $20. Yeah, sometimes you can, and you guys are great. You guys are great. Love having these chats with all of you here. Host chat is what it is with your host here. And so again, just a reminder, if you missed any of the episodes of our series, we've done I think it's over 270 episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Again, we're bringing back the lost art of conversation. We do this show like a television show, not like a podcast or a stream. It's like a television show where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation, like some of the old school talk shows, Johnny Carson, Dick Cavett, David Siskine, Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, Dick Clark, with a modern twist of today. I was mentioning Gilligan is back there, Gilligan, and there's Silver, and there's Jimmy right there, Jimmy the Clown and Silver. I know you guys love those cast characters, and we already showed you George Burns. Lin the Panda's over way on the other side. We're going to bring Lin in over the weekend. You guys have been asking about Lin. Lin is huge, if you may remember. Thank you, Dwight. Appreciate. Lovely chats. That's what these are. Lovely chats as well. We forgive you, Bernadette. Don't stay away again. From one of our lovelies, Juanita. You guys are great. So, big lovely weekend, Valentine's weekend, or at least here in the United States, it's Valentine's Day weekend coming up. And we'll celebrate that here on the show as well. And we're going to get ready to wrap up. 2 hours. That's a good amount of entertainment, wouldn't you say? A lot of shows don't go this long, but we like to have a good time. We have great guests and entertainment and levity and inspiration, and we always learn something and always have a good time together. Tell everybody about our shows. A lot of people ask, well, how can we, what can we do to help the show? Hey, continue watching, spread the word, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share the link. We would love that as we're building that. That is YouTube, Jim Masters TV. That's the home to the Jim Masters Show Live. You can also find me on Facebook at Jim Masters TV, Instagram, Jim Masters TV, and Twitter at Jim Masters TV as well. I know many of you are following and liking already. Those of you who haven't, love to see you there as well. And it's always a pleasure being in your company. Matthew, he's really an ultimate. He's a brand new lovity, and he's got the program. Share. He knows about it. Thanks, Matthew. I love it. I love that. You're so right. Yes, I know. We should do that. I know it's been sitting there behind me on the left there. Got to get that going. I know you want some singing, more singing too. Did you ever see the episode we did with another great guest who's been on the show a couple of times? Cassandra Bain, Lady Bain, that Christmas episode, that holiday episode where she and I were singing Christmas carols together, and we were laughing through them, especially Jingle Bells, laughing through the ha ha ha. That's a funny episode. We've had so much fun with the episodes of our show. I love to sometimes go back and look at some of them, and I end up laughing because, when I'm hosting the show, I'm thinking about a lot of different things that are going on at once. So I like to sometimes watch the shows back, because I also critique them. It's because of what I do for a living. I like to critique the episodes and see how we can make them better, and some tweaks we can do visually and content wise and presentation wise, not just flip a switch, and just start talking. I like to have this as a broadcast that really delivers some good entertainment and some quality product. So I will watch sometimes some of the episodes later and get a kick out of them because I'm like, oh my God, that was funny. Wow, that Lovity said something funny, or I said something funny, or the guest said something, or something went wrong. Their I don't know, their chair sounded like it was squeaking, or a dog jumped on their lap, or their iPhone died out and I had to keep talking, or all the things that can really happen. And it can be so funny when you watch it back. Juanita says, Matthew, we want to see your fiance here tomorrow. Perfect. Haha, she will be. Excellent, Matthew. That's fantastic. Matthew in Rhode Island. Great state. Rhode Island. So that means Matthew watches, let's see, he watches WPRI channel 12, WJAR channel 10, WLNE channel 6 in Providence. WSBE channel 36 is his PBS station out of Providence. He might get some of the TV stations out of Connecticut. And probably if you're in northern Rhode Island, you might get a station or two from Boston, maybe WBZ4, WCVB channel 5, maybe HDH channel 7, maybe WGBH channel 2. I did some work with them as well. Great station in Boston. Nice to have you with us in Rhode Island. And again, Matthew, I mentioned when we were in Newport, because we do head out to Newport as often as we can. This is where we got this. We got this in Rhode Island. Wonderful Rhode Island. It's a beautiful state. New England is a very beautiful place. Right on the money, Jim. You got it, Matthew. Absolutely. I know my call letters. You guys also have WPRO radio, right? Mm-hmm. Juanita says, Jim, you should do a compilation of greatest moments. Would be cool to share. I think you're right. I think I also should do an episode where it's just all the chairs, the guests' chairs. How many chairs have we seen? Has anybody kept count? How many of the chairs we have seen when the guest had to get up because they needed to excuse themselves? They needed to tend to a kid that's running around, or an animal that stormed in the room, or their phone battery or their laptop battery was kicking out. And, how many times have we heard them say, oh, I've only got 10% battery left. So we end up talking amongst ourselves and reviewing some of the things, photos and different things while they're charging up the battery. And we've had to do that a lot. So we end up seeing their chair. And this new thing we've been doing is I have them give us a little tour of the room that they're in. Tell us about the room that you're in, and some of the pictures on the walls and the paintings and the artwork. And a lot of the guests roll with it and they enjoy it. And it's sort of that, if you remember, it's way before all of our time probably, but Edward R. Murrow was a veteran television news journalist on CBS television network, and one of the legends. And I think it was called Person to Person. And he would be sitting in this chair and he'd have this big screen in front of him and he'd be smoking his cigarette. And they would be visiting the homes of celebrities and notables on the big screen. So, and you'd see inside their home, you'd see their apartment, their home, and it was really cool. So we've been sort of bringing that a little bit back here on the Jim Masters Show Live as well. And that's a good idea. We could do a show where we could have it where the guest, see if the guest matches the chair. That would be cool, right? It's like, we just show the chair. Sometimes we've even seen a full leather couch. Does anybody remember the episode where we saw a full leather couch with a fireplace? Who that guest was? I've always been a chair collector. I think chairs have a lot of character. And we have some family heirloom chairs as well in the house from relatives. Have a game and see. Yeah, I love that. Start studying chairs. You can humanize them, and the winner gets a toaster, 4 slice or 2 slice. Absolutely. You're very welcome, Matthew, there in Rhode Island. Bernadette says, as you see, we can be silly, but we are a lovely community. Absolutely, we sure are. And Bernadette says, welcome to the club, Matthew. I agree. We're here every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Sometimes we take a night off here and there just to breathe. But I like the ideas you guys are coming up with. And Bernadette, still a veteran levity as well. That's right. And cool stuff. Cool stuff. You guys are the best. Sending you hugs, Jim, right back at you, Kathleen, in New York City. Saying them back to you as well. You guys have a good time tonight with our guest, Sean KANAN, and some of this host chat. Yes. Yes. And I believe the chair that Carol O'Connor sat in, Archie Bunker's chair, and I think Edith's as well, the originals from All in the Family, are in the Smithsonian Institution. Yeah. I think that whole thing, that whole set, part of that set, at least the chairs, are in the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Classic chairs. And if Jennifer says, if Ken brings one more chair in this house, ugh, LOL. Got a lot of chairs, huh? Sometimes you can have too many, but you want to, select wisely. You don't want to have too many chairs. Virtual hugs to all. Okay, sounds good, gang. Grab your hands, and there you go. There's your virtual hug. We can't do it in person. So a couple of things. We're talking about the Levity Cruise. We're looking at possibly 2022. Obviously, it's already 2021. We can't do it now. And a lot of you have been discussing that this week with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. So we've been talking about that. So we're looking at that, and a lot of people are excited about that. And also, some of the guests we've had on have talked about popping on the Jim Masters Show Live Levity Cruise. So we're talking about where to go, to Europe or maybe some of the tropical islands. That would be really, really cool. And for those of you who haven't been with us the last day or so, I know a lot of you have been asking for Levity merchandise, hats and mugs and shirts and all kinds of things for the Jim Masters Show Live Levity. And we're putting all that together. We're still working on that. So that's coming soon, and it's going to be really cool. Looking forward to all of that. So I know a lot of people have been asking. Some of you ask privately when you write messages on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or email. And so all of those things are happening. And Christine says, the one with the couch was, I think, a lady guest with communication or relationships. Guessing, I think there was a few couch guests. Thanks for host chatting with us, Jim. You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was a great episode as well. Yeah, that was a great episode. We're going to have more of those kinds of guests joining us as well. Another hypnotist, a magician. We've got some cool people that are coming up on our show. So, gang, this has been positively fantastic. Everybody doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. We're good here. Just very, very, very busy. But it's beautiful, right? Life can be beautiful if you take time to smell the roses. First, you got to plant the roses and then take time to smell them. Water that garden, the garden of life. I can only remember the beautiful tapestry. The couch was not important. Well, the tapestry, I think, was last week, wasn't it, Juanita? That's when Debbie Tosin Kilday was on, the poet, and my great friend, the writer and author. There was a huge tapestry behind her. She just sent me some wonderful books, too. We just got it in the mail yesterday. I appreciate her doing that. She wanted to send me some of the books. But and we'll have her back on as well. You guys, we had a lot of people watch that episode, and what's really amazing is the people who watch our series. Hundreds and hundreds of people are watching, if not thousands of people are watching the Jim Masters Show Live series archived on our YouTube channel because I see the analytics and I'm blown away. I'm like, my God, 1,000 people watched in the last 24 hours. Whew, they viewed. It's incredible. So, there's our gang that watches live and posts live, which is fantastic because we love doing everything live. And then there's people who watch who don't comment, but then there's also people who love to watch the episodes of the Jim Master Show live later at their leisure on demand. So all of them are there on demand for you guys. Leather tapestry. I'll have to review the episodes to see which one had the leather tapestry. Some really cool backgrounds, right? Some people have had just a wall behind them and a lamp. And we didn't see the chair. And some of them have had some really nice backgrounds. And one of the things I wanted to do with this show, and we've done some on location segments, we're doing more of that, but where I take the whole show actually on location. And we do it on location with an on location background. And here we are. We're going to be doing that once we're able to do it. Can't do it, obviously, with everything going on still with COVID and social distancing and things still closed and not really able to do it. But that is something that we are working on. We're going to take the Jim Masters Show live out of the home studio every once in a while and do it on location, which should be really cool. So going to have to look for the one with the leather tapestry that you're talking about. And Jennifer Barry is a couch and bed person. So you like to be stretched out. Is that what you're basically saying? Couch, bed, you like to stretch those legs, stretch out, and do your wiggles, right? Your couch and bed wiggles you always talk about. And Ken is a chair person. Ken wants to be more sort of upright, and you want to be stretched out in the couch or the bed. That's it. Well, gang, this was great. You guys have a good time. Like Bernadette says, until tomorrow. Yes, Cami Kotler is going to be here from the Waltons, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live on the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. It's going to be fantastic. We look forward to Cami joining us. Juanita says, Jen, it's because you cannot wiggle in a chair. Yeah, I know. Yeah, some of our guests, have had chairs that have made. I think there was one of our guests had such a creaky chair that some of you lovely viewers were concerned that her chair was going to collapse. You're like, oh, I hope her chair the leg doesn't break off, because as she was, I think it was an older wooden chair, and she was on a hardwood floor, and as she moved and expressed and emoted, the chair was really creaking, and I think you were concerned that her chair was going to collapse. Always leave wiggle room, and in life too, Bernadette. You got it. Nighty night from Florida. Yes, Pine Island from Mary Bishop. You as well. All right, gang. So this was a nice host chat we did for like a half hour bonus here on the Jim Master Show Live. We always like to do that when we can, because this is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series. It's not just about guests. It's not just about a quick scripted interview. It's an entertainment lifestyle talk show series with variety, with guests and all kinds of cool segments. And we like to bring the viewers in, the lovelies, into the fold. Yes. Love it. I think we'll show this again. Remember Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway was a guest on our show. I think I showed this before, but this is so cool. And we have many more of these that have come in. We're going to do an episode where we show them, but just love the legendary Sir James Galway, the amazing Irish flautist, and his wonderful comments about our show when he was a guest, live from the beautiful home there in Switzerland.
Hello, Jim. I just want to tell you how much pleasure Jeannie and I got out of appearing on your show when it was possible to do that. I hope in the future we'll be able to do it again and take part in a great show.
So nice. So I just really find that's absolutely wonderful and kind of them to do that as well. Love hosts, viewer chats. We're going to do some more of those too. I know, because when I started the show, I started it, because I'm a host professionally. So I started it where we were hosting and bringing the viewers in. And we were talking about all kinds of aspects of life. So we're going to do more of that because I thoroughly enjoy doing that. I love having the guests on too, but I also love doing what I do, which is chatting with the audience and us sort of sprinkling in aspects of our lives and sharing them together as we do. Good night to you, Kathleen. More of those host viewer chats coming up. Lots of levity when we have them. So much fun. Thanks, Jim. Night, everyone. You as well, Juanita. Thanks for all the comments, all the emails, all the kind words, all the beautiful things you say on the Facebook page at Jim Masters TV, the comments you do on YouTube, all of you, the Instagram following and comments. Love it all. Very, very kind of all of you. And they're duly noted and very appreciated as well. So good night to everybody, or good morning, or good day. Lots of fun. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, gang. You as well. We are going to wrap up this episode of the Jim Masters Show live. Love you all. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about our show, and share the levity. That's what it's all about. So from wherever you are around the world, whatever time of day it is you're watching this live or archived, this is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll be back tomorrow right here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, to entertain, inform, educate, enlighten, and have some fun with you right here on the Jim Masters Show live. All right. Sayonara. Ciao. Auf Wiedersehen. We'll see you later. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.